This is Abnormal Entertainment.
Mia, go lay down. Go lay down or no peanut butter later.
Oh, I got that recorded. Welcome, everybody, to Cinema Head Cheese, the podcast. This is Kevin Moyers, and this is a full-on podcast. With me today is...
Jeff Dolniak. Yes, I am here. It's been a while, but I'm here.
Dalyn Vieker.
Yes, we're
Sans mask.
we're doing a full-on show today at Casa Dolniak, and yeah, I'm just gonna open this app fully because I feel better
This is
about
exciting.
it. I know. 40 seconds in, you already talked
We're
about
in the
dog licking your balls.
We're in the cinema
Again?
We're in the Cinema Head Cheese studios.
Yeah. So we had. I think it's been an interesting time in entertainment. Considering everything that's going on,
all the stuff that we knew was going on,
yeah,
and everybody just turned a blind eye. Everybody assumed these things were going on, and because it's been joked about for years within movies like Team America, World Police. Well, you gotta suck my. So I mean, it's always been said, and you've always said, "Oh, you know how she got that role." And then
the casting couch,
yeah,
right.
So there's always been this talk, and then you find out,
back to the 30s, probably Charlie Chaplin's giant cock got sucked.
Yeah, I'm sure. It had a little mustache and a hat.
It had a little mustache. But I know it's been going on forever, and of course it's been blowing up. And I know it's not, Cinema Head Cheese. We try to be lighthearted and goofy and stuff, and that doesn't mean we're not going to be funny.
It's about
we're going to be funny,
movies.
But it is it's a serious topic. Obviously, we don't condone any of it. It's nasty, but I think one of the big things that's really disturbing is that a lot of these. Well, actually, I can at least say a couple of these people are I don't want to, maybe I shouldn't say heroes, but at least one of them, Louis C.K., is one of my comic heroes. Just the funniest human beings I've ever gotten to listen to or see, and him, and then of course we have Kevin Spacey, who's an actor I've admired for years.
Yeah.
I know Dalyn, you got to see Louis C.K. live.
Yeah. I made sure. I was like, I got to see him live.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go
before he masturbates in front of somebody.
Before he forces people to masturbate, or forces people to watch him masturbate, and doesn't let them leave the room.
Well, I mean,
sorry, Garfunkel and Oates, you had to see.
No, it wasn't them.
Oh, it wasn't them.
That was the assumed thing because it was a successful female comedy duo, and I don't remember their names.
But it wasn't.
But it has come out who it is, and they both publicly talked about it.
But all five of them were female comedians,
right? And there are 4 that have publicly come out about it. 2 of them being the comedy team. Everybody assumed, and I did too. I assumed Garfunkel and Oates because you're thinking female comedy team that are successful.
The Sklar brothers got it.
Yeah. They're one of the most popular.
It's the reason one of them doesn't wear glasses anymore. Yeah. But yeah, 4 out of the 5 have come out, and I mean today as we're recording, Louis C.K. released a statement. Yes, this is true. Also this week, as far as comedians go, Jim Jeffries has his show on Comedy Central, and he does an after-show podcast. And it's funny because there are 2 shows right now that I love watching. It's Jim Jeffries and Robin Thede on BET, and they both do an after-show podcast, which I enjoy. But he told a story. I don't know if you remember the episode of Legit that co-starred Carrie Fisher as the predatory producer, and she's like, lick my pussy, lick my pussy.
Yeah.
He told 2 stories attached to that. He's like, first off, it was supposed to be Penny Marshall, because when he was in England, Penny Marshall came to like an entire weekend of his shows because she was a fan, and he was blown away by this.
Yeah.
So he kept in touch with her enough that they offered her the part, but she just couldn't say that. She felt weird about it. So they he's like, luckily we got Carrie Fisher, and now she's gone. But he said, that's a real story that really happened to me.
Wow.
So, it's...
So it happened to...
It happened to Jim... No, it happened to Jim Jeffries.
With a female?
Yes.
Yeah. Not with Penny Marshall.
No.
He just
No,
wanted Penny
he
Marshall
wanted her
to play the part.
Yeah.
That's where I thought it was going at first. I'm like,
No,
But
Marshall
Marshall
would-
would... I think she would have been gold.
No.
Because she's kind of a rough...
Right. He
she
wanted
would've been fun.
wanted her to play the part because he was a fan of hers
Alpha
as well.
female.
Mutual fans. Right. So, and then they ended up with Carrie Fisher. But
not bad either.
Another ball buster.
Right.
I mean, she was absolutely gorgeous as Leia. And, But
he didn't reveal who it was. He just said that that's a true story. It really happened.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they made it funny, but yeah, and they threw Tom Arnold in at the end, and he's like, "Oh, for Christ's sake," But so that's this whole, and it's something that bothers me about the whole situation is that it's men, and there are a lot of men coming out. I mean,
men against men.
Sometimes
men
it's
towards
men
too.
predatory against men. There are women predatory against men as well, and I'm sure there
I
are
haven't
women.
seen any. I haven't
Women
seen,
against
yet
women.
to see anything women. I've yet to see anything women against men.
But I'm sure it happens.
I'm sure.
Portia de Rossi told a story about Steven Seagal this week.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, that's not a surprise to anybody, really.
Yeah. And now they're pulling Steven Seagal's movies off of Netflix.
Right.
Well, actually, which is not a bad thing because they're lately.
Well, FX just ripped Louis C.K. off of everything he produces, which is One Mississippi, which is a great show on Amazon, but FX co-produces it. And Tig Notaro is really the person that started pushing for this whole situation.
Yeah.
Because it was talked about like 2 or 3 years ago on Gawker.
Did he help produce the Tig Notaro stuff?
Yes.
Put money up.
When he has no actual connection to the show, like as far as working on it. Baskets, though, with Galifianakis and Louis Armstrong. Louis Anderson.
Yeah, Louis.
I'm like, wonderful world. Yeah,
Hi.
Louis Anderson. That he has an active role in, but not on One Mississippi. He actually recorded, without her knowing, the audio of the night she went on stage after she found out she had cancer, and she did a full hour about it.
Yeah.
And, he's like, I recorded this, you should put it out as an album and whatever. And so it's kind of his, real business connection with her. But yeah, I mean, it's happening. I saw somebody post on Twitter like, one accusation from Anthony Rapp and Kevin Spacey's ousted, because it's a man, but a woman has to do whatever. It's like, no. That's not why Kevin Spacey was ousted.
Kevin Spacey's been doing it consistently.
Well, no, but after the Rapp accusation, it was a couple hours later, Spacey came out with this quasi-admission.
Oh, yes.
And also I'm gay. He's trying to
That
cover
was
it.
bullshit.
That's why everybody ousted him. It had nothing to do with Anthony Rapp being a man.
Now.
Just
Yeah.
shit on the gay community.
So everybody that's pulling that bullshit, fuck you. It has nothing to do with Rapp being a man. It has everything to do with what Spacey did in his reaction. And by the way, Corey Feldman has been talking about this shit for 25, 30 years, and nobody's listening
with
to
his
him.
awful music.
But it doesn't matter. That's what everybody focuses on. This poor fucking guy was molested as a kid. Corey Haim is dead because of it.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, it's because Rapp was a man. Fuck you. That's flat out. Look at Corey Feldman and I'll tell you you're wrong.
No. I mean, I will give Corey Feldman shit for his music, but
even that, he's a guy in pain.
He's definitely he's still hurting, and
he's messed up because of what happened to him.
Yeah.
And he only has put out one name so far, and it's a guy that was convicted, John Grissom.
Yes,
who was in License to Drive, and he was only in 2 movies.
He was a bid player. I think I think I probably had more.
But he did go to jail for child pornography. So, but and there was somebody.
There was the allegation, though. I mean, it's not. They don't know for sure, but of Charlie Sheen possibly molesting Corey Haim on Lucas.
Yeah,
a movie I loved growing up. I remember seeing because it's my Arlington. It was filmed in Arlington Heights where I grew up. So
yeah,
but yeah, no, it was. young Charlie Sheen, who's probably starting his drug. Well, he might have been, deep into it.
Well, I mean, yeah, he has quite a history. I mean,
I think he's been at it for, but regardless, it's just
his sexual history is questionable enough where you look at it and go, okay, maybe this happened.
Right.
But then there are some, and I'm not saying what I believe or don't here, but like Jeffrey Tambor, you have one accusation from a former employee of his who is trans, that he would make sexual advances and stuff like that, and he plays a trans character now. He's been a big advocate, but people, I mean, look at all the good things Bill Cosby did, and he's probably the most prolific serial rapist in American history. So, it's just like,
and you know what, and a guy who I admired. I loved him growing up.
Jeffrey Tambor?
No, I love Jeffrey Tambor, but as a kid, I loved Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
Cosby was
Who didn't
awesome.
watch the Cosby Show?
Oh my god, I love that
day.
show.
yeah.
And then he became this kind of like righteous, like he was the as he got older, like he was the this righteous figure to look up to, and then of course all that stuff came out.
He didn't have any filth, flaring filth.
Filth.
Well, and
lots of it.
I saw somebody today again on Twitter, I was a fan of this person, so that means I actively participated in this rape culture. Like, no, you didn't.
That's extreme. That's extreme feminism. Or
well,
something.
not that. It's like you want to call it social justice warrior, or what's the other term?
It's the extreme,
something flagging. Yeah. But it's
this
just
is why I'm an independent,
down.
because that's like the extreme left.
Well, I mean, I met Cosby at a Cubs game when I was 17 and shook his hand. I didn't know he was using that hand to drop pills into women's drinks for the last 40 years before that. I'm not complicit in rape culture because I was a fan of his. That's stupid. If you knew if you're still watching Woody Allen movies or you're watching fucking Roman Polanski movies, then you're complicit.
Okay.
That's a different thing. You're supporting his career.
I don't watch Woody Allen because
their movies suck.
They suck. Other than Bananas, Bananas is hilarious and is a masterpiece.
Sure, but all of Cosby's albums are hilarious. I cannot fucking listen to him now. I just cannot.
Roman Polanski,
can't do it.
I love some of his movies. I think it's those guys are. It's just been such a flood of this shit.
Right.
I think it's
big
surprise.
A lot of old stuff surfacing. And
there's still talk of Victor Salva and Jeepers Creepers. Everybody knew about it when it was coming out. He got to do Powder.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people did.
Sure.
You guys didn't, but maybe more so.
I don't think the public
come back out.
Yeah. But he was
convicted. He did his time. You know what? He did his time, but you know what? I don't think there's time that you can do when you touch a kid.
Well,
I don't truly believe that.
The big problem is,
but
if you watch, Powder, Jeepers Creepers 2 especially, he's working with kids.
Yeah, I know.
Why is he fucking working with kids?
And he got to do number 3, the third one.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's just the Sci-Fi Network or whatever. He had a short. It's still at a limited release, but he should not be.
No. He shouldn't be working around kids, period.
I wouldn't.
Period. But I did have a little bit of a conversation with somebody about this earlier. Like, as a Cardinals fan, I have a very big problem with them signing Adrian Peterson. A very, very big problem with them signing him. Because he beat the shit out of a 4-year-old. And he's got a $2,000 fine. That's it. He did not suffer for that. And people go,
it's tough.
It's how he grew up. Well, that's Harvey Weinstein's excuse. It's how things were when I was younger. Bullshit. Adrian Peterson is younger than me, and I saw enough to, on TV and in ads, don't beat the shit out of your kids. Well, so if I know and I'm older than him, then he should fucking know.
And I don't.
That's not an excuse.
I don't want to come to his defense, but I think it's kind of maybe it's a regional thing where you're growing
Nope,
up.
doesn't matter.
No, I think
TV
it
is nationwide. It doesn't matter. TV is nationwide. Everybody gets the same
No,
TV.
but he grew up in the
especially
South,
when we grew up.
and they did the
Doesn't matter.
switch thing. and
Everybody
everything.
got the same education, the same, like, from mass media that we got. We all got the same shit. So I don't buy it. I got spankings growing up. I didn't get hit by a switch or anything like that, but I choose not to do that. Myself because I just can't fucking do it. Even still, there's to say, oh, he didn't know any better. That's bullshit. He's an adult. He's in his 30s. He knows better.
Yeah.
And he beat that kid bloody. The pictures are vile.
No, it's
but then
I can't. I'm not going to defend it. I can't.
Well, in the conversation we got into, and I brought up Michael Vick. Michael Vick went to jail, did his time, volunteered for the Humane Society afterward. He did some horrible things.
He's a dick.
And
he abused animals.
Right, but he went to jail for it. He suffered a consequence. So for him to go back into the NFL, people are like, he shouldn't get to. That's what he does. If he was a plumber and went back to plumbing, that's what he does.
Yeah.
What is he? So what?
Well, he got his shot.
He's hired,
and he doesn't have a job in the NFL.
Charles Dutton is a convicted murderer.
That's right,
and he's told his story. He beat a guy to death with his bare hands. Beat a guy to death, and he went to jail. Served his time.
Trejo, didn't he kill somebody?
No, he didn't kill somebody, but he's spent time in jail. Now he's beloved. But it's fine because he did serve his time. We have, Mike Frizzell that used to be on this network, was convicted of robbing 39 banks, but he did his time, and he's contributing that.
It is a totally
which is
different
fine
animal
when you serve your time. When you do, there is a punishment involved. Then you can come back into society. That's the whole point of jail, to recontribute. You know what I mean? To rehabilitate.
Okay.
So, but that's the point. These people that are not serving it, like Cosby, he's not serving any time.
No, he needs to serve time.
He's not suffering.
And I hope Harvey Weinstein serves some time because
he's going to kill himself.
Weinstein?
Yeah,
could be, maybe.
I can see it.
I mean, Louis C.K.
There's
admitted this now. So what's going to happen?
There's a guy with Harvey Weinstein. I know he's a producer and he's kind of behind. He's not the creative force.
Yeah.
But God, how many movies has he helped or is produced or put his money behind?
He is the mega producer.
He is.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean,
and he used
Oscars galore. He made Kevin Smith, who
made Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Yep,
I mean,
Tarantino.
two, probably
my
two of my favorite all time.
Right, they are my two favorite all time.
Yeah, they spoke to our generation. I mean, those two.
And both have come out to, kind of...
Yeah.
Not so much Quentin. I mean, Quentin did, I didn't know kind of thing, but Kevin Smith was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
He kind of, which was great.
Next movie, I'm giving away the profit.
No,
and I think you know what? No,
it wasn't next movie. It was Kevin Smith as any residuals he gets from today forward, or from his announcement forward from any Weinstein movie is going right to women's charities.
Nice.
So, and his wife is like super feminist too.
Yeah.
Jennifer Schwalbach.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not taking a single penny of that money ever again.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. I mean, he can survive without it. But it's nice that he's doing something positive with it.
Sure.
So
no, Kevin Smith. He's made some shit movies and some awesome movies. To me. But he's got.
I never hated any of them.
No.
Some I didn't prefer.
I couldn't watch Jersey Girl.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
I like Jersey Girl.
I love Jersey Girl.
The one I don't like is Clerks 2.
Oh, I loved it.
That's the one I don't
Clerks
like.
Clerks 2 was fun.
I liked it.
It was.
I know
I'm
I'm in the minority there.
I like.
But I like Tuscan
jokes.
yoga hosers.
Yeah, I like yoga hosers more than anything.
I have not seen yoga hosers yet.
It's fun.
I recommended it to a friend of mine at work, and she's like, it's probably my least favorite by him. I have not gotten through it yet. She started last night. She's like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's way different. It's way different. Yeah, it is. I don't like it.
No, I do want to see that. I do.
on
I
Netflix.
want to.
Yeah.
And
Is it? Yeah, that's
watch
right.
it.
Yeah, it's been on Netflix for a long time.
It's like
I throw it on every now and then.
My sister and brother-in-law were here. I can't remember. It might have been for my uncle's funeral. And I told them that we came across World's Greatest Dad on Netflix. She's like, "Oh, Robin Williams." I go, "Yeah, it's actually a really great movie." But it's Bobcat Goldthwait directed it. You know what the movie's about?
It's a suicide.
Right. The kid dies.
Topic.
Autoerotic asphyxiation. He jerks off with a thing around his neck.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, in excess style. But I showed them this movie,
Kung Fu.
and when it was done, my sister's like,
right.
"Why the fuck did you say that was funny?" So yeah, there was that. But
there have been a couple different names regarding all the flood of the controversy. There's just been it seems like I don't know. Like I said, there's been a couple of people that I admired immensely. Anthony Edwards, he didn't touch anybody.
No.
But just recently, he was accusing one of his producer.
Yeah, he said when he was a kid he was molested.
And there's a guy. Anthony Edwards. I don't know. Maybe I'm being naive, but he seems like kind of a straight shooter. Maybe it's the actor. You never know. But he just doesn't seem like he's out to. But not so much a surprise. And I can talk a little bit on this. Is Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
But it's kind of I think he thinks more of it being playful.
Right.
Which on stuff. There's been. I know there's independent productions where he has. He likes to show his stuff.
Yeah.
To folks. That's his big. That's
God. It just clicked. Fuck, man! It just clicked into my head. The movie that we were on. Like we played zombies in the movie that he was in here. The girl. One of the women that was on set, and I won't say anything.
I think he had
beyond
sex
that.
with a few of them.
No. He showed her his dick.
Yes.
And I can make it look hard without it being
he
hard.
He said
Yes.
he calls it his fake hard on.
God damn.
And he grabs
it just hit me too. She told me that story after
he
it was done.
He grips his wiener, which I've seen a few Ron Jeremy pornos. I've seen him do it, especially in his later years. He does it to make it look like it's kind of like it's working.
Fuck, I forgot about that until just
he
now.
He did that in the
So
movie.
yeah, he did do that on the movie that we were on. Yeah, it's a zombie movie. It's not a porn for anybody curious, but yeah, I forgot about that. She told me that story after.
The more recent allegation is from actually a porno actress that I grew up watching a little bit, Ginger Lynn. She I think she did a movie with him, and this is it's an older story.
Yeah.
But he was, they were just kind of hanging out, I think, and he just said, "Hey, can I just put the tip in?" And she's like, "No," and they're kind of just doing, "No, we can't do this." And it's like, okay, I'll put the. And she's like, "Okay, go put the tip in." I guess he just rams it in, rams his dick inside her or something. He just goes overboard. And this happened in the 80s, and she's talking about it now. Ginger Lynn is, she's older, she's in her 50s, and Ron is. I've met him. He's a nice person and everything, but.
Well, he was nice to you.
Yeah, he was nice. Yeah, I'm just a chubby, ugly,
guy,
41-year-old, like us. So
God, I forgot about that story. It's making me crazy now, just to think about it.
But yeah, I know he's been brought. It's not as much of a surprise as some of the other guys, but I think the most vile is the Weinstein stuff. That's probably, just the forced rape of. I think he had a. Not well. It actually was rape. It was. I think the girl was on her period, and he wanted to go down on her, so he forced himself.
Yeah, it's gross.
Disgusting.
All of it's gross. And I'm super glad that I cock blocked Ron Jeremy in Tucson. That's all I'll go into on that story. But I did completely cock block the motherfucker. Yeah. But anyway, Anyway.
You're a strapping stud, so you can do that kind of stuff.
Anyway.
That's why when I go to Tucson, I make sure I hang out with Kevin Moyers.
Yep.
When I'm single.
Yeah.
And which will never happen.
Anyway, it's, yeah.
I hung out with Kevin Moyers in Tucson.
It was boring. Yeah.
I will just say this, to put a cap on all this stuff, it's vile, but I'm going to guess that for the rest of time, nobody's going to use the word cinephile ever again. Because
you know what? I think it's like, it's like I'm going to at least say this. I'm a tremendous pervert. And I think, you guys are at least perverts, but
At least?
you're at least on the pervert level. But yeah,
I mean, I've never had a pug lick my balls, so there's that.
That was an
I
accident.
have not either.
That was an accident, and
Or any type of four-legged animal.
I was
2/3 of this show have not had their balls licked
know
by
what?
a pug.
That's
math.
Intentional or otherwise.
And it was a male pug too.
Yeah.
But he did it. I did it.
I haven't had it by a
He
female
did
or
not-
a male pug.
It was non-consensual. I was asleep.
You were assaulted by Mojo.
I was laying on my bed, half asleep, and the dog licks my nuts.
Well,
what can I fucking do?
There's a hashtag Me Too for you that's
Me
not going to
too.
fly very well.
I was raped by a pug,
Oh,
who is actually one of my best buddies in the world.
Now you are.
Make it okay.
We're friends.
We're friends.
I love Mojo.
Mojo,
But he did
the
that-
day Mojo became Blojo.
That's what happens when you sleep naked, and whatever. But yeah,
Anyway.
that's Mojo for you.
Yeah.
Good Lord, guys. So I mean, I was not there, and I really wish I was there. But you guys knocked it out of the park. You guys were awesome. You were at the Tucson Comic-Con.
The Tucson
last week.
Comic-Con? Yeah. We
And
did.
you had a couple things. You had talk about the books for sure. I want to hear about just how kind of everything went.
Well, we did an entire hour on Masterpiece.
I
If you
know,
want
but
to
you're
go back
doing
and listen to
Cinema
that.
Head Sheets.
Well, not an entire hour, but I'll do a more
10 minutes on
abbreviated version.
Cinema Head Sheets.
We rolled in with, what do we have, 9 books? I think 9.
Something like that.
9 titles. And when I have all that shit spread out on a table...
That's
and I'm
impressive.
Like, I've written all but one of these, because one was your sketchbook.
It's crazy.
I'm like, that's insane. And that's not everything I've written.
I need to get a sketch of. I need you to do a sketch of me.
Okay. I'll put it on the sketchbook for you.
Yeah.
Just my face.
But
That'll be
It's
crazy.
going to be Mojo.
Mojo licking my nuts.
just some balls and a pug.
The poor dog's gonna be taken
Some
away
really
from us,
droopy ass cheeks hanging behind.
Fucking the ASPCA is gonna be coming after me. I didn't know it was the dog.
Draw some curtains.
No,
And the nuts hanging down between and the dog reaching up and going, oh my God.
God. I was tongue raped by a dog.
Well, that can't be the title.
No.
No.
It's not.
Anyway,
Tucson.
so yeah, to look at all the shit I've done and not be even all of it. I mean, there are a few more books that are on my roster. I'm like, fuck, I've done a lot of shit in 15 years. But it went really well. The kids' book that wrote with Casey that sold more than any of them. We had another book that I was very surprised sold as many as it did.
The brain farts.
No,
Talk about it.
the brain farts. I sold one to a guy who was dying laughing reading just the cover. I was like, all right. And there was another woman that was reading
Got
it,
farts in the car.
laughing as she's reading it. I'm like, it's only $5. You can take the whole thing home, and she puts it back.
Oh, Christina.
No, that wasn't her. Christina ended up. It was a girl named Christina who was a fan apparently, a new fan, but she was looking at brain farts all Friday. Came back Saturday and upgraded since her friend was paying it to a book that was $5 more. So
Yeah. So she
Like-
got Kevin Hates Everything.
yeah. So I sold some
Much
of
better.
those.
Oh.
Did a bunch of Blastos and stuff like that. Olive Scorn that I had
Yeah.
sold, so that was
Got all
good.
scorn sold and
I would have sold
got a
more if
couple
I
of
had more.
sketchbooks.
Yeah, so-
You have the new Scorn is a graphic novel.
yeah. I just put it all into one book, and it was
Smaller
it's-
size too, which I like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It works better to me.
the manga size, like shrinking it down, was actually really good for it.
Yeah.
And people like the black and white version of it. And I'm going to do a color with all the extra drawings and the scripts and stuff in it too. So
Yeah.
that'll be a different version, but
Yeah. It's it was fun, and we got to do 4 panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, how were the panels? You did some film.
Woo.
You guys did some film panels.
We did 3 cinema head cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So Masterpiece Theater, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was just okay. Whatever. It happened, and we got through it.
It's hard because there's
was just
only a
hard.
few people there.
Yeah.
Because panels, you never know how
You just
many
never
are
know.
going to show up.
Well, and remember, I mean, the last panel I did was a full house. It was all
Right.
of us.
Right.
That was awesome. That
Yeah,
was like,
that
wow.
one was great.
And we were trying to do that
the
again.
Phoenix Comic-Con.
And then the one we did the next day, there was even more people.
Mm-hmm.
It was an even bigger crowd. I mean, that place.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Saturday one's the first one. Is the only one I was on was 80s. And then, like, bad movies of the 80s. And then it was maybe 15 people. It was with Minnie Mandy and Frankie G from Masterpiece, both.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but the crowd was like stiff. There were 2 people that were really interacting with us.
Yeah, because Frankie G was not impressed when he got back.
It was it was hard, man. It was like doing
Anything.
a bad stand-up show. Like, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
And then you guys went up into the 90s. I was like, I don't fucking want to do this.
Yeah. And when I got there, I'm like, oh my God, everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
It's like the whole place was leaving. And a guy that was one of the hosts of the previous panel. He's just like, oh, what are you guys going to do this about? Bad movies of the 90s? Well, I'm going to stick around for that. I was like, I was about to leave. I was just like, you know what? We don't have to do this. I want to get back down and sell books.
It was the last panel of the night, too.
It was the last panel. We're just like, let's just get done.
Oh, God.
And then, so he stuck around. I'm like, wow. And he just, it's not really a panel. We're just like hanging out and just chatting with each other, except we got microphones and we're just louder.
This is weird. I mean, and especially a guy who did a panel should know better than to sit there as a one-person fucking audience.
Yeah. So we ended that half hour. I'm just like, got the phone out. I'm texting everybody like, we're ending this in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'm like, do it.
Yeah, I just see just do it across the screen from Kevin.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny because, it's not really a side of me that the other hosts of some of the other shows are like, I don't see you like that. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this right now. We're here for a different reason.
Yeah.
Like, these panels are fine, they're fun and everything. But then we did the 2000s on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and I was going to lead that one, but I was in the middle of a sale.
Yeah.
So, and we decided one of the 2 of us were going to be there at the table.
And
during
I
the
just did
panels.
not want to ruin that sale.
Yeah, and you were like, fuck it, I'll go. And then you guys just, boom, gone. I was like, all right, cool. But,
and that one, we knocked it out of the park. It was awesome. It wasn't packed, but there was...
But a good crowd.
Yeah, it was a dozen people or so.
And we've had
no
that.
more than that. Yeah, it was about between a dozen and 20 people. So and then we just did it. It was interactive. Applause afterward. I'm like, man, this is what you do this for.
Yeah.
And
And we've had that though with small crowds.
Right.
Like, one of the most impressive stand-up shows I've ever seen was it was when I tried to book some shows, but there was a second show on a Friday. There were 24 people, and I watched Mark Maron do one of the best stand-up shows I've ever seen in my life. And he did his act, but made it look like a conversation with these people. And I just watched him do it in the earlier show, which was packed up. But that second show, I
just
watched
had more
him.
intimate setting.
But he did it as though he was just talking to these people, and it was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life, easily, as far as an entertainer goes. It was amazing. I was like, he made it seem like he wasn't doing his act.
Right.
And he was conversing with them in between, but he was still doing his act. It was fucking amazing.
Huh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you can get that where the little crowd is just with you. And that's great.
And they were, they were, and that was what was cool. Everybody really interacted, and we just kept on.
Yeah.
Like, if I saw a hand go up, you will talk.
Yeah.
And you're going to talk about things, and you're going to say whatever it is.
Yeah.
You tell me how much you love Spider-Man 3.
I know.
Yeah. And he loved it. He loved it. He's like, why do you hate it? And Mandy goes off about cinematography and editing. I'm like,
Right.
I just didn't like it as much, that's all.
Saturday Night Fever.
Having 15 villains in it.
Yeah, it was like that was my biggest issue. You got Venom, and you just kind of you threw him in there because you had to.
Venom was the Two-Face of that movie.
Raimi,
Right.
Raimi really did good on the previous, and then
Sure.
then he just shit the bed on the third one.
Yeah.
But it was a good con. Did way better than I expected.
I loved how it was set up. Mm-hmm. It was set up really well. The aisles were wide enough for people in costume.
Wide enough for us behind the tables.
Behind the tables there was plenty of room because those freaking people with the snake.
Yeah.
They're close enough.
Yeah. I helped the first day, the snake they had. Yeah, and the kids were like all over them to the point where on the second day they're like, just, you can pet it for a second, then you got to go away.
you gotta let them have some space.
Yeah, they were monopolizing.
What is with people in Tucson and their snakes?
I don't know.
Man, there are people just walking around with snakes.
Yeah. The people that had a table,
the booth, they're fine.
And they had their snake. It drew attention to the table. It was smart.
And they had a cage for it.
Right.
They
could put it somewhere to be comfortable.
There's a guy walking around, and I think you said, "Well, that's a crappy glove," because he's walking around with this ball python wrapped around his wrist and hand. I'm like, that's alive!
And ball pythons are notoriously aggressive.
I'm like, that thing is alive.
Yeah.
I don't want to bump into it because, I mean, it's a con. You're going to bump into people.
Yeah.
It just happens. And people are so polite at cons, but I mean, it's not the snake's job to be polite.
No.
They're polite. They don't always smell good, though.
Yeah.
If it bites somebody,
you're
fucked.
Yeah. And then the one lady with the
big albino.
Yeah, big albino boa.
I believe it was a boa. A boa you can get away with a lot more. They're much more calm.
Yeah.
But pythons, I would never fuck with a python in a crowd like that.
No.
Never. They're very aggressive.
Yeah.
So, comparatively.
Yeah. And I know someone listening, your python is amazing. It would never hurt anybody. Mm-hmm. Sure. I know.
Sure.
But.
You know how many people have been bit by dogs after hearing that exact thing?
Right, exactly.
Like, stop.
My pit bull doesn't eat babies.
Yeah, it's a wild animal. You have to understand that.
Yeah, you're taking it into an environment where it's different.
Yeah.
You've tamed it, so now it trusts people, it trusts you.
Right.
And it's got to trust that everybody's going to be just like you.
Yeah.
Not everybody at the con is going to be just like you, especially me.
Well, but if
I don't want to be around your freaking snake.
If somebody bumps into the snake's head.
Right.
You know, and then it's just boom. I mean, it's that quick. So.
Just weird. Whatever.
Yeah. But other than that,
I just said it more to be funny than anything else. Awesome con. It was. And the people that ran it. Yeah.
People that ran it were good to us.
Yeah.
They were retweeting everything we tweeted, reposting, tagging everything on fucking Instagram.
They came by and took a picture of the booth.
Pictures while we were doing one of the panels.
You were the one panel you took off for.
Yeah.
They came by and took a picture of us. I'm like,
but
let's
still,
pose.
They're like, here's Bunny17 Media, bam, on our Instagram and Twitter and everything.
Yeah.
Go see them. Here's their shit.
That's because I was like, I just handed them a bookmark. I'm like, hey, you mind tagging us? He's like, oh, of course, that's what we want to do. I'm like, hell yeah.
They took care of the people, and that's probably why they've been around for 10 years. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's good. You know, that's what I want to see. That's what like Phoenix needs to do. That's what
they used to be like that. Well, maybe not. I mean,
they got too big.
When Dom was here from Mess Bucket for Phoenix Comic-Con, he talked about Mesa Bucket. He talked about how Wizard World has kind of gotten away from caring for the Artist Alley people. And Wizard World Chicago was the first con I ever did. And so it's sad to hear that, but he's still doing the shows. He's getting to the point where he's questioning whether or not to do Wizard World shows anymore because they're such a pain in the ass.
That's too bad.
Yeah, and I would like to do Austin because my brother lives down there and place to stay, number one. But I get to go. My brother's been, since he's lived there 2.5 years, been begging me to come down.
Yeah, one of the coolest cities in the country.
Right,
it is.
And you got
the original
audience
house there too.
Would be a good crowd, I think.
Austin's a great
well,
city.
plus my brother knows, all the bars and everything to go to after. But I mean, the whole point is, just it's good that they had a great environment for the people that are paying to have tables there and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, and the crowd was great. There were some nice people there.
Yeah, I was blown away. We have people that weren't interested.
Yeah.
Super great about it.
We have a book in a school now. I mean, 3 copies of the kids' book in a school. That's weird, but great. You know? So
Juggalos have a copy of Blasto now.
Yay! We'll take that.
Oh, yeah. There were 3 that looked like Juggalos. I'm like, selling Blasto.
He's like, Kevin sees him and like, that's a Blasto sale right there. Like,
hey,
sure enough, it took nothing to sell
it was just like, it's about a farting clown.
Farting clown, I got crayons, done.
He's like, how much is it? $5? All right.
Yeah, he didn't even question.
See, I think that, you had this adorable little girl selling, what's Casey's book?
Search for the Book of the Guardians. But
okay,
she wasn't there some of the time. Because, she needed to stretch her legs. So she was going off with Dalyn.
I think you need an adorable middle-aged man in clown makeup selling Blasto.
Yeah, I would love for
if
you
you want to
so
do that,
much.
that is done.
And I will
done
do it.
deal.
I will do it.
Yes.
I will sweat and I will stink and I will be Blasto.
Oh man, I would love to find a big old yellow sweater and put the green Charlie Brown crap that I put on there.
I will not smile once. I will
cut it up.
That's what we need to figure out how to make
Blasto.
We gotta,
yeah. Like that look like Blasto's shirt.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Yeah, we have to figure that out.
The yellow outfit.
Yeah. But yeah, you could fart in front of people like that customer did in front of me today.
I don't know if you can do it on command. Blasto.
I think you could.
You probably could.
If he has enough beer and maybe burritos, enchiladas.
There's a.
Do you like farting clown comics?
Sold those sold some Easter comics.
Yeah. Yes, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Because it's just, and the whole thing was supposed to be a learning experience. It wasn't supposed to do. We were not supposed to do as well as we did. No. And it's not that we came home with a ton of money. I factored out.
I'm still way in the red, but
I don't know. I think those. I just think.
But not even that far, really. If you just, you're looking at a hotel and on food, I go, well, I was going to eat those 3 days anyway. But
I think people who are at least trying. When you see those guys, when I go to the Comic-Con, I just see people just plop down doing nothing, but then I see people just trying to kind of sell their shit. Yeah. I don't care if it's some girl with their tits out or whatever, or just some freaky dude just like, hey, come, check out my comic, check out my book. You know what? There's something there.
I put this woman across from us on Suicide Watch because I thought she looked depressed. Nobody's coming to your table. I wanted to go over and help her so badly. I wanted to go help her
because she just was like just frumpy and
it's sales. You gotta fucking try and sell your shit.
There were some younger people who were going to her booth because of what she had displayed.
It was very nicely displayed. She had stuff.
It could be great stuff too.
But when you're first of all, the people that build the cages around themselves and they have a little window to look through, that's bad. I don't like that.
No.
And I even thought about getting like a tower, but maybe 2 feet high tops to sit at the corner of a table to hold a couple books, just to make a little space. But as we get more titles, that I can see. But the cage, when they build the cage around themselves and they're just sitting there, peeking through a little hole, how are you engaging with anybody?
Yeah. What is the DMV?
Yeah, even when people come and they're standing in front of their table looking at their shit, they don't say hello. They don't fucking do anything.
Oh, that's a really cool Zelda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, like, you drew it! You drew that boot like Zelda. Fuck, own that!
But again, and we talked about this on Masterpiece, you're talking about people that work in a solitary situation.
Right.
Drawing, writing, whatever, it's solitary for the most part. I mean, writing you can do collaborative and stuff, but they're solitary people. They're awkward. Half of them are probably Asperger's
and you know what?
cases.
I will. Here, let me tell you. Okay,
and I don't mean that negative. I mean, it's just
my girlfriend's
introvert.
My girlfriend's son was taking a picture of. We were at the Comic-Con and he was just really enamored by a Star Wars thing that someone took. I guess someone drew, and that very quiet person who was sitting just like. How we're talking with these people that just kind of just tuck themselves away. Mm-hmm. He jumped up and said, "No photos." I mean, it just looked right at and I'm like, and I jumped in and I'm like, "You need to back off." That's just bullshit.
I understand the no photos thing with their art because they're trying to sell.
But that's not what it was for.
Right,
it was a kid taking a picture.
Right. It's different when it's a kid, and you have to be a little understanding with that.
Yeah.
But there are people that don't want
you
to
say,
take pictures.
I'm sorry, I prefer you not take a photo of it.
Yeah.
So they can kind of. I know the art can be copied, but
we're also talking about people that don't know how to deal with people.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know, go get somebody that can do this for you then.
Yeah.
Have someone help out. There's a guy that at every Phoenix Comic-Con I see him, and he's helping out some artist.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he is selling that he is selling that crap. He's got it. He's showing it off and this and that. He's selling a little too much because I took Leah, my wife, there to this thing, and she's like, I really want to go get that Spider-Man print. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, let's go get it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what do you want? Tell you what, this is Mike McCone. He's one of the best artists out there. I'll tell you, you buy one, you get another one for $5. Well,
I'll take it.
Or buy one, get one free. It was just something dumb like, whoa, you just oversold me. Like,
right.
Already going to buy one. Now I'll take the Superman for free.
Now I'll take the free one, too.
Yeah, it was buy one, get one free. Yeah, he's one of the best artists. But he was good.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him at, there's another artist named Greg Horn who does painted covers for comics.
Right.
Awesome. Man, he is out there. He's got light showing all these different, and they're just 11 by 17 prints.
Yeah.
And they are rocking and rolling over there.
Yeah.
Go get that. Find a friend. Find someone that does that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, go get yourself a tailor-made.
Sure. Yeah.
He'd be great at a table.
I think he would.
He would be amazing at a Comic-Con.
No,
he would be fantastic.
Yeah.
He
can sell
come here. Come here. Come check this out. You look at this. You can get this book and this book. I'll tell you what, you just...
No,
but I'm just going to give you my money because I think I need to right now.
Right.
It just happens.
And with Taylor, it's a lot of
Taylor,
what I do.
Taylor has the ability to convince you that a really ugly chick is hot.
Even if she looks like Van Halen.
Yeah. That's another story. That's another story. But anyway, we're talking about promotion.
But for real, go get yourself a freaking hype man that can promote your stuff for you. Or a hype
but
woman.
Taylor's away, and I had somebody say this to me before in a sales job. Like, he comes out, it was a manager, I was the assistant manager, and he goes, "You're everybody's buddy. You're their buddy. That's what it is. That's why you can sell." And I go, "Yeah, I get that." And he started going to everybody in the place, and I was like, "Huh, that's interesting."
Yeah.
Just like this person, like he was an older guy, so he knew what he was talking about because he's an old guy who's been around. Okay, but he was not authoritative, but he was like,
just wise.
I just know my shit. You know what I mean? I've been around. I know what's there. You know what I mean? Not in a pushy way, but and to see that Taylor's like that. He's your buddy. That's it. You're buying from your buddy. Yeah. And that's kind of my theme with people. Like, a lot of it was, hey, I think I'd see a kid. I have a book I think she would like. And I go, come here a second. Yeah. And they just walk over,
Yeah. Because the worst thing you're going to get is no.
Right. And that's,
or
you got
just
a lot
walk
of
away with,
don't sit
or
and
walk
expect
away
people
with
to
nothing
walk.
to say.
Don't expect people to just come to you,
Nobody knows who Kevin Moyers and Dalyn Beaker are. They don't know who Blasto is. They don't know what Scorn is.
No,
they don't
you have
know
to tell
the
them.
Guardians are. They don't know.
You need this book. Yeah. And they go, oh, okay, I'll take this book. You know? So
what are these other books? Well,
right. And that's what I want to work on a little bit more next time. Like, hey, you're getting this. Like, you're getting this for your kid. What about you? What do you like?
What do you like? Yeah.
Because we had a couple people buy like Scorn and the kids book. Like,
the military family that came by.
Yep.
I mean, they were just buying it up because they were just like, this is a little bit something for everybody.
Yeah.
They got the kids book. They got the sketchbook
and the Guardians.
Yeah. Yeah. He bought 3 books.
Yeah.
That were all totally different.
Yep.
One was definitely for a dog because he was wearing a Punisher shirt.
One was for dad. 2 were for the kid. Like that.
Well, because there was he had a daughter who I think it was intended for the.
Oh yeah.
For the Guardians book.
Yeah,
and then the son was because he likes to write stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like,
what do you like?
He's dressed as Spider-Man.
They got a clown. It's kind of like it, and the mom's like, what?
Pennywise. He's like
Pennywise. He's like,
and he was 9. He was the same age as Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had no idea, but
that was hilarious.
So, that's all right. We'll draw Spider-Man for you.
Yeah,
cool.
It's like Spider-Man, awesome. But he was dressed like Tom Holland was.
Yeah,
with the hoodie.
Yeah, the welfare Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was great. I'm glad it went well. We've got a few topics we're going to probably go into. Well,
sure.
I say probably.
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 How many beers are you in?
How many bees? Probably.
Well, you live here, so you can drink as much as you want.
I can. But
gone to my
you know what?
This is my
There's
number
plenty
2
of room.
final.
There's plenty of room. Anyway, I think we've got some topics we want to talk about possibly later on. But I did want to get a guest in here. And, if you guys don't want him around, it's your call. I can't be in here because I think... Here's the thing. The Cinema Headshee Studios is just not big enough for all of us. So when we come back from our break, we're going to have a stand.
Oh, we're having a break?
We're going to have a break.
It's for commercials?
Can we put a Masterpiece Theater?
Sure.
We can put a bumper from Masterpiece Theater.
We don't have one, but I'll make one.
We'll make one.
You can do that.
Hey,
before we do this, I want to say 2 words to you. Marlon Brando. Okay?
We're going to have a stand-up.
Way back when the very first show that you and Dave and I did, which was called The Movie Burrito, you teased a guest named Marlon Brando, and he showed up. I'm making quote marks with my fingers. And it was the most interesting moment in the history of our show there. Before we showed up that one day and the doors were locked and they were closed down and we didn't know.
Sounds like how Krispy Kreme went out of business the first time.
Yeah. No, actually, I think our guest actually put Krispy Kreme out of business.
Did they have an all-you-can-eat buffet? Or?
It's those free.
He's a stand-up comedian, but he's actually more of a sit-down comedian.
I didn't know he's a comedian. This is news.
We're going to have Roderick Price on the program. Comedian.
I hope the couch is still available.
I don't know if it's available.
I got $7 burning a hole in my pocket
I think
right
he's
now.
got the casting couch, but I don't know how long he's going to last. But I'm, like I said, the studio is not big enough.
Earnings.
It's not big enough for all of us. So
all both. She's a blasto.
The comedy stylings of Roderick Price. Coming up.
Sure.
On the Cinema Headshee Masterpiece Burrito.
In a land ruled by boredom, one woman has come forth to bring games to your table.
Quiet down. I'm trying to read these rules. Don't you have an inner monologue?
Sorry, I didn't mean to spill that.
You guys aren't even supposed to be here today. Visit Gloryhound and the Uninvited Gamers on Stitcher, iTunes, or at gloryhound.com.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff Dolniak from Cinema Headshee.
Hennessy some cheese.
Hennessy some cheese. No, actually,
it's not Hennessy. It's narwhal swimming in the ocean.
No, it's a narwhal.
Yes.
No, where actually there's been a lot of IPA hitting us. Probably
Imperial Stouts.
Narwhal.
Yep.
Sierra Nevada, narwhal.
Tasty shit. I like this. I like Imperial Stouts. It's one of my favorites.
It's my favorite style.
This is a
Russian Imperial Stout. I have to do it for the president.
I still wish I could remember the one I had in Ontario. It was something brewery with a W, and I know I visited them during one of my visits there. But I love this style.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah. And then
I stink afterward.
For me, sours afterwards. I love sours.
I don't like sours.
And they're completely different.
Yeah.
I've always been a giant fan of Sierra Nevada.
What's the place?
Narwhal is it's different from what they've had.
Yeah, this is
it's
not
very, Sierra Nevada's
really good.
It has the IPAs and it's
most of their stuff's very hoppy, and this is not.
It isn't, and it's more of it's a drink that you're going to want to kind of just cherish, enjoy.
Well, Ballast Point is that. They do a lot of IPAs and ales, but then they have the Marlin, which is the mocha porter. And that's completely different than everything else they do, but it's
I don't think
great.
I've had that one.
It's really good.
Okay. I've liked everything from Ballast Point.
I rarely drink stouts, but I mean, because it has that logo.
Yeah.
I'm a big Sierra Nevada I'm a big fan. I have to drink it, and it's definitely a drink that you want to sip, enjoy. not chug.
Well,
I mean, you've got
stouts can get warm, and they're so good.
It's
they're
one
actually
of the-
better.
It's
The
the narwhal. The narwhal's got the highest, probably one of the higher alcohol levels of any beer I've had. But it's got you've got espresso in there. You've got some other very interesting tastes in there. It's not something I want to chug. So
Yeah.
it's very enjoyable.
It's not for beer pong. That's all I know.
So I don't know why. I actually, maybe I do know why, because I couldn't get any other guest. But we do have a special guest coming in, and I'm gonna have to leave the studio. Like I said it earlier, we just won't. The four of us will just not fit here together. So we have Roderick Price. He's a stand-up comedian. He actually calls himself a sit-down comedian because he really cannot stand up. But we have Roderick Price coming in, and I'm going to leave the room. Okay. Dalyn and Kevin are going to kind of let this roll, and Roderick has some material I'm not really fond of. I mean, I think he thinks it's funny, but he's going to let it roll because he's been a good guy, and he watches my pugs. He's actually babysat my pugs a few times, and he's a good guy.
That's where they learn the ball licking.
I kind of want to give him a shot. So if anybody's listening out there, you're looking for a comedian. He's a bigger fella.
You want to give him a shot in the mouth.
We don't want to go there. But Roderick Price
will be jealous.
I gotta leave right now. Roderick Price is gonna. Are you good, Rod? Okay. Wait. Hey, Dalyn, can you help? Dalyn, just get behind his. Can you get right by his hip? If you can get by his hip, just adjust. Maybe just give him. No. It's.
I put
just
my
lean
hand
back.
upon your hip and
lean back. Lean back. Okay. All right. Okay. We got Rod.
Don't dance.
Rod,
just pull up your pants.
We have Rod. Rod is now. He's now sitting. He's now sitting in place, and I'm gonna squeeze out. And here we go. Roderick Price.
Marlon Brando.
Hey guys. How's everybody doing here? I've got my. I can't. I have some jokes for you guys.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us some jokes.
Dude. Who was the world's first carpenter?
I don't know.
Eve. Because she made Adam's banana stand.
Alright. What's your next joke?
It's about.
It's just like when I was on the Adam Carolla show.
I can't.
Same thing.
I use this.
One joke at a time, not like the bits.
Tell some jokes. You got 3 minutes.
Mr. Moyers, I do this. I need this to breathe.
Alright.
Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle?
Because he's horny?
Because his wife's dead.
Okay.
Is it true that you come in cans?
I come wherever I can. So I guess I come in cans. What's the difference between a Catholic priest and a zit? At least a zit waits until you're a teenager before it comes on your face. All right. Hey, Rod, we can't do this, guy. Oh my god.
Oh god.
All right, guys, we're gonna get it. We gotta remove him. This was probably the worst
I'm remembering Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm remembering Marlon Brando right now.
Roderick, you gotta go, man. You gotta go, bud.
So bad Dave wasn't here for this. Anyway.
We'll be back,
What other
everybody.
topics?
I apologize. Those were some offensive jokes. What is a pedophile's favorite part of Halloween? Free delivery. What's the difference between a gay man, or me, and a freezer? Freezer doesn't fart when you pull the meat out. Okay, we need to get out. Rod, you need to go, bud. Rod?
It's like bad theater.
Alright, we'll be back.
Oh, God. Alright.
Are we really?
Alright, I'm not doing that again. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna shred this.
So, alright, what else are we going to talk about here?
Is there anything else we can talk about?
I don't think there's much else after that. I think this is a full episode.
Yeah.
You guys asked me, so it was as bad as he thought it would be, so.
And then some. And then some, for sure.
Oh my god.
Anyway, just reminded me of Marlon Brando. That's all.
So you have gotten a chance to watch Stranger Things.
Yes.
I've seen season 1. I enjoyed it.
Season 1 was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still did.
No, I did the pod short on it immediately after the weekend it released, and it's well worth watching if you haven't yet. You need to get on it.
Yeah.
The only problem I had with it is in the first one, those 80s references were subtle. You know, you'd have a poster on the wall in the background, and I'm sitting there like an idiot Googling, what year did that come out? Because it's 1983. And, find out if it's accurate. I did a little bit of that in the second season. Somebody mentioned KFC. I'm like, what year did they start calling it KFC? But I guess apparently they changed it to KFC. People were calling it that beforehand, before they officially branded. So whatever. That one I could let go, but they were a little more ham-fisted with it. Like, they zoomed in. They showed a close-up of Terminator in the theater. Like, let that shit sit in the background and be just part of the decor. You don't need to, zoom in on it. We get it. You're telling us it's 1984 in the beginning. We know what year it is. So, that's the only problem I have with it. Other than that, it was fine. Not to spoil anything really, but remember the end of the first season when Hopper is putting the Eggos in the little box for 11 and stuff like that. He's kind of taking care of her out in the woods. You see that at the end of the season. And, there's more of that in the second season with the two of them together. And at one point she's watching TV and she comes across Punky Brewster. And if you remember that was a homeless kid who ends up living with, I can't remember George Gaines, his character's name in Punky Brewster, but it's the same scenario essentially with her and Hopper. So they, that's one of the shows she flips across, and I thought that was kind of funny. So, referencing that when they're basically living that life.
Yeah.
So,
that's clever.
Yeah, but some of it was a little more ham-fisted than that. And it's almost like, to me, the references in Stranger Things 2 were akin to the music in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Right.
It's like, oh God, we have to do this again. How do we do it? And now they're aware of it. Where
they play way more and a longer cut of the songs. Oh my God,
it's a thing that just happened in the first one, and now they know it's important to people. So now we have to make it happen, which isn't as authentic, and it's a little bit more just forced in. Yeah. But honestly, that's the only real complaint. Same thing with Guardians 2. See, my only real complaint is the forced nature of the music. And, Brandy, that song obviously had an important thing because there was a speech about it. But other than that, I have no problems with it. I thought it was just as great as the first season, if not better.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was fun. Yeah. And I sat with
to watch it, so.
Kurt Belcher and I were going back and forth on Twitter with things that we noticed throughout the show, like different references, subtle things. There was the obvious stuff, and we kind of hashed that out, but we were going through the subtle stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was like just the things that he noticed that I didn't and vice versa, and we're like, oh yeah, how about this, how about this, how about this? So there was a lot in there that you're going to notice if you pay attention to it. That was really fun to see. I wouldn't even, honestly, there was, because Paul Reiser's in the second season, and if you look...
Oh, no, I'm definitely not going to watch it now.
Well, if you look at, what's his name that plays Hopper?
One of my two dads.
Well, yeah, if you look at what's his name that plays Hopper, he kind of resembles Greg Evigan.
He does.
And there's a little moment in there where it seems like a My Two Dads kind of moment, which is really funny. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. But, yeah, so, you know, there's a lot of fun stuff in there. But it's good that they bring people like that. Sean Astin's in the season. Paul Reiser's in the season. So still people from that era.
Yeah.
You know, it's great that they're continuing that theme. You know, and I hope they get a little bit more relaxed about it in the third season because they've signed up for 4 total and they want to end it after 4.
That's good.
So, yeah, and it's set up.
1986 is a good year to stop.
Yeah, if they go one.
If they
each
do it
year,
one each year.
Yeah.
If they go that direction.
Yeah.
And then.
The way it ends, I think they may just kind of continue through 1984 into 1985.
Okay.
But it's not like, here we are a year later. You know what I mean?
Right.
The way it ends. Whereas the first season, kind of, you could see that. So.
Sure.
But we'll see what happens.
I'm
4
excited.
seasons is supposed to be the end. So, yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I've been moving this. Yeah, I've been moving for it seems like forever now.
Yeah.
And then Tucson Comic-Con. And still.
But I like that they have a plan for it. You know what I mean? It's like Babylon 5. There was a 5-year thing. They ended in 5 years. You know what I mean? When they have a plan for things and they know what they want to do, I like that a lot.
So do I.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Right.
And that's why I
there were
like
shows like
The Walking Dead. It's just a fucking mess right now. I don't want it to. I mean, I watched the show. I don't know if you watch the show.
Yeah, I like it.
I haven't seen the most recent episode, but it's been kind of rough. You know, I wish they
have to have their ups and downs.
Negan, you know,
they have to have their ups and downs with that show. There's going to be slow moments. It's going to be it's like the comic book. Mm-hmm. You're going to have your slower issues.
I didn't read.
You're going to have your slower.
I'll continue to give.
Show's better actually.
I'll give it some more. I'll watch.
We talked about
it's following the comic book, so I mean, it's not like it looks like they have a plan for it.
Yeah.
It seems that way,
and that's nice.
Battlestar Galactica was that way too.
Yeah,
that one I was like,
and I didn't watch
the original or
no, the Edward James Olmos.
I watched the shit with
Dirk Benedict.
Dirk Benedict, the old school stuff
from the 80s,
with Twinkie and shit.
Twiggy, yeah, Starbuck, but yeah, that was something I know they went into with a start and a finish in mind, so they just shot what they knew would be the story.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I mean that one didn't have the same direction. I mean, what was it? 1 season for the original Battlestar?
Something. I thought it was a movie, and then they turned it into a series.
Yeah, but it didn't go very long. It was an expensive series.
Same thing with Quantum Leap. They did a TV movie first, and then did 5 seasons. And they were done.
Yeah,
like they just.
I love it.
Yeah, and that was it.
And that was Battlestar. They had an end in mind.
Yeah,
and they got to that end.
Well, the intent with Quantum Leap was to do a movie several years later where you see what happened to Sam, and then he's supposed to have a daughter in the movie. And I don't know what happened to it. What's his name that created it? Stephen Bochco died, I think, a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But he had a plan for the movie, and it involved Sam's daughter trying to bring him back. So I would have loved to see that, but I mean, Dean Stockwell's still around. Bakula's obviously still around.
Didn't Dean Stockwell die?
No, I think he's still around.
You're thinking of Harry Dean Stanton.
I am thinking of Harry Dean Stanton.
We all are.
Dean Stockwell and I share a birthday.
Harry Dean Stanton.
Yes.
Harry Dean
Stanton
right.
He died this year at 110.
No.
And he's
but
looked
Dean
the same for the
Stockwell's
past
up there.
50 years.
He's close to 80, and It's like when I was a kid and a huge Quantum Leap fan, I found out he had the same birthday. It was the greatest day of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got Dean Stockwell, I got Penn Jillette, I got Ava Mendes, all good in my book. So,
I have Dennis Rodman. I have, I think Jack Nicholson is my birthday.
Stockwell's also in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, there you go.
I've got a serial killer on my birthday too.
Ooh.
Really famous. I don't know which one.
No, I don't know who's on my birthday.
Ted Bundy or someone like that.
Oh.
So
Well, did you know
it's
that
a tourist thing, you know?
I was listening to something. It was Mike Rowe has a podcast called The Way I Heard It, and he does these little short stories about different people, and he doesn't reveal who the person is until the end. And I always try to figure it out, and sometimes I do. And I figured this one out, but he was telling a story about Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy is who Hannibal Lecter is based on in Silence of the Lambs.
Even though he never really did any cannibalizing or anything?
No, he didn't do cannibalizing, but he was helping this FBI agent. It was a guy who was trying to find the Green River Killer.
Uh-huh.
And Ted Bundy sent him a letter and said, I can help you with this.
Really?
And yeah,
I didn't know that.
I'm seeing patterns and I can help you with this. And so he flew to Florida, talked to Ted Bundy, and so that detective wrote the novel later that was loosely based on his interaction with Bundy.
You know what, it's kind of, I mean, it's based on a bunch of, I mean, you have Ed Gein, it's kind of a mixture, but I guess that's...
But the very base of it where
Ed
Starling
Gein
goes
was in
to talk to...
1950, so.
Yeah, Starling goes to talk to Hannibal Lecter. That's this guy going to talk to Ted Bundy. That's what that's based on. And Bundy helped him find the Green River Killer because Bundy recognized the patterns. He's like, you need to go back to where this body was found because he loves these women. He brushes their hair. He paints their nails. The whole thing. It's a great... And Mike Rowe has a great podcast. And I can support him. He does a lot of good
I like Mike Rowe.
Yeah, especially
he's
for...
an indie...
especially for the
He's
trades.
an independent... he's kind of like more my political...
well, and he helps build scholarships for trade schools. Like, there aren't enough people going into trades. Everybody says college.
Yeah.
Go into the trades.
Make work cool again.
Less school. Yeah. And, you know, he was an opera singer.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Two guys that were opera singers that shocked the shit out of me. Mike Rowe, Jim Jeffries. Both opera singers.
Did not know that about Jim Jeffries.
Jim Jeffries is
Did not know that about him.
Jim Jeffries fucked up his voice, and he had some kind of nodules on his vocal cords. Fucked it up, and something similar happened with Mike Rowe, and neither one of them could, do opera again. Jeffries was interested in comedy, decided to try that route, and he more made his way in England than Australia, but as far as comedy goes. But yeah, they were both opera singers, trained opera singers.
Yeah, I knew Mike Rowe was and he's super talented.
Yeah, and Jeffries can't sing anymore because
I do want to tell you guys that you kind of helped this segue here. Mindhunters. It's on Netflix.
I have to watch it.
Excellent
show.
I
hear how great that is.
If you've read the works of John Douglas and Robert Ressler, which I did years ago. Well, these are guys that were profilers from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. These are their names aren't used on the show, but it's them.
Right.
It's based on John Douglas and Robert Ressler. And it's an excellent show.
It's the beginning of profiling.
It's the beginning of profiling. The kind of the use of the word, the term serial killer is there.
Well, and if you like Criminal Minds, that whole show is about profiling.
Yeah,
it sounds like this would be
that's
right
a great show.
Same alley. Yeah,
that's a great show. Mindhunters obviously can go that extra mile,
right?
Because it's on Netflix.
Tell the
but
wife about that one then.
I know she loves Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
That show fucks me up.
I love
I can't watch it because it's too real.
No,
some of it sometimes I'm just like, just makes me mad.
It's Criminal Minds is great. Mindhunters is fantastic. There's a good chunk of the show is based on and factually based on Edmund Kemper, who was known as the co-ed killer back in the early 70s. Edmund Kemper was, I think the best way to describe him is he was probably as close to Jason as you could come. He was a 6'10", 300-pound, just massive man that would murder these young women. The only thing is that he wasn't this dopey psycho monster that Jason was. Not that Jason was dopey, but he was highly intelligent. And he was highly intelligent, but he also liked to fuck their skulls when too. So, but anyway, Ed Kemper is shown. The actor, I don't know the actor's name. I probably should have researched it, but the show is great. The actor who plays Ed Kemper is very much. I mean, he looks like Ed Kemper. If you look,
I've seen the side by side pictures.
If you look at some of the YouTube videos of Ed Kemper being interviewed, he's a sharp dude. I mean, he's a very intelligent guy. He actually, from what I've heard, is he did voiceovers for. No, he did books. Like he would do the video, the recordings for like book readings.
Books and stuff.
Yeah. He did VC Andrews stuff. He did some big. Some of the big writers. I don't know if he's doing it recently, but he's a sharp guy. But on the same side, he's just a fucking maniac.
Well, VC Andrews,
he's still kicking and he's still alive.
Yeah,
unlike some of our other maniacs that are out there.
But it's funny you say VC Andrews because for you Game of Thrones fans, Flowers in the Attic. If you like brother sister fucking, well, there you go. There's a book for you.
Come on.
I read that shit. No,
I know there's brothers, but you know what?
I read that book in 8th grade.
Game of Thrones is an excellent show.
Brother sister fucking. I'm just telling you. The reason we have stepsister porn on Pornhub is Game of Thrones. That's it, right there. I promise you that's why we have it. Yeah, it's so popular. Game of Thrones. But yeah, Flowers in the Attic. Holy shit! When I got to that part in the book in 8th grade. I was ahead of the other kids reading wise, so the teacher let me pick books. I was like, okay, I'll read this. Somebody gave it to me. And I got to that, I was like, what in the fuck am I reading right now?
Well, the movie came out in 87.
The movie was a terrible adaptation.
It's terrible. But
it's one of the worst adaptations I've seen.
It came out when we were 13, 14 years old.
But they didn't include that.
Any of that. 87, I was 11.
And as disgusting as that is, it's important to the story.
But we all read the books. Just like I did with the Stephen King books. I would go and I would read. I remember reading I love the Dead Zone, the movie. I remember reading the Dead Zone, the movie, and anytime you read a book, especially like the Stephen Kings, they always tended to be a lot more graphic.
I think he's a Neanderthal. That's a previous episode.
We're not going to talk about that. I think Stephen King is a genius, but anyway. But yeah, Flowers in the Attic is. Yeah, I mean that's a rough topic. Locking the brother and sister in an attic, and of course they're doing things with each other.
Yeah,
I don't want to use the F word, but they kind of do.
Yeah, things. They fuck.
They fuck.
Brother and sister fucking. It's an
it's
an old book. I mean, at this point, I read it in 8th grade, and I'm 41, so that's a long time ago. I was 12. So 30 years ago, almost, I read that book.
It was a PG. That's the thing. It was a PG-13 movie that came out. They made it PG-13, but it was just a.
Even eliminating that part of it, the movie it was a terrible adaptation. It was terrible. So the best adaptation I've ever seen, book to movie, is Misery.
Misery is great.
That's one that. Outside of the hobbling, in the book they cut his foot off, and
it was an axe.
But they weren't there yet. It was still in the early 90s. It was 93, 94 that came out. Maybe 93.
Yeah, even early. It might have been mid-90s.
It was before Forrest Gump, where they took Gary Sinise's legs off. So
is Dead Zone?
That was 94.
Dead Zone
was in the 70s.
But no, Dead Zone was about 81. It was
but the book was made in the 70s.
Cronenberg did Dead Zone. Yeah. That was a really good adaptation.
See, that one I not read or seen. So that one and that's Walken.
Yeah.
So I need to see
awesome.
One day.
Especially with our political times, it's a phenomenal movie to see or read. you'd be like shocked at what you saw. I mean, just watch the movie. Just you're not going to read the book. You don't have time to read the book.
No,
the book is better than the movie, and the movie is awesome.
Most times it is. Yeah.
The movie is awesome.
Yeah, you can do more in a book. Usually.
Salem's Lot versus the '70s miniseries. Woo, bad,
it's cheesy, yes.
So bad.
Yes.
The book is amazing.
Yeah,
but that miniseries was hell. I never saw the Rob Lowe.
Well, it's similar. It's like it.
Yeah.
I love Toby Hooper, who did Salem's Lot. But yeah,
so
I mean, it's nowhere
so
near the book.
Oh.
I grew up on King. I would read King.
I've read more of
when
his
I was
books
a
than
kid.
anybody's.
I've never gotten through one.
Yeah, Cujo was the only one I got almost to the end. I was so bored. That was a boring book.
I don't think I read Cujo.
So
the movie's
I read
too.
Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
That's good. But the movie's really good too.
I think I've read Misery, Salem's Lot, Green Mile, The Long Walk, which is a Bachman book. The Long Walk is amazing, and he'll never make it into a movie because it's too dark. Because it involves kids. The Long Walk.
Yeah.
The Long Walk is basically all these kids are on this walk, and there's like military vehicles riding alongside them as they walk, and whoever gets to the finish line gets this great prize. And they allude to the main character. His father was kidnapped by the government, like taken away by the government, and they kind of allude to maybe his father will be the great prize or whatever. But if you stop, you get a warning, and if you get two warnings, you get shot and killed right then. Kids. These are kids getting shot and killed by these military people on the side. It's dark, and he said he would never allow that to be made into a movie. So after he dies, hopefully his kids will say, "Do this," because I want to see that made.
He allowed it to be made into a movie, and it has an orgy.
Right,
in
with
it.
children. Yeah.
So I don't fucking stand that. I just made up a word. Fucking stand.
His caveat might be you can't do this scene in the movie. I don't know. Who knows?
There's no orgy in.
Yeah, but Long Walk is just kids getting shot and killed through the entire book. That's all it is.
That did blow me away with the mist, though, at the end of that movie when they shoot that kid.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's different from the book.
And that's different from the book. Like King actually said, I wish I would have put that in.
He went darker. The movie
went darker, and I'm like, what the...
That's why he said he'll give Darabont any movie, any book Darabont wants to make, he'll give it to him. He'll go. He won't even question him. He'll just say go. Because that's not the only one. He did another one, and I can't remember what it was. But...
I like Darabont, and I like Mick Garris has done some good adaptions of his stuff. And I don't know, Sleepwalkers was...
Well, that was the only screenplay that King wrote. He wrote that straight as a screenplay. It was never a book.
Okay, so. Because I never read the book, so...
Well,
I just remember, I watched the movie, I had fun with the movie, it was not...
It was never a book.
It wasn't genius.
It was his first screenplay.
But I had fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends, and Rob Reiner's. Oh God, and I hate to go back to what we were talking about in the very beginning of the show, but I'm hearing things, and I hope they're not true about Rob Reiner.
Well, I hope not.
That he's.
I haven't heard anything.
I hope none of this stuff is true.
I know
is happening. To be honest with you, I wish none of it was.
I
true,
know,
but
because I love Rob Reiner as a director.
Yeah.
I love Rob Reiner
as kids should be raped.
Hopefully,
that's mainly why I don't like any of this stuff. Like,
yes.
I just wish kids weren't getting raped because that's a horrible thing. I'm wondering, is this stuff about Bryan Singer going to come out?
I know
again.
Yeah, it's still
because he's setting up producers with children so he can make X-Men. That's horrible. Yeah, if that's true,
and all the,
if that is true,
and all the work that he's done with Kevin Spacey too.
Yeah,
I know. I hate to go on this note, but yeah, it's.
But I mean, the list is Brett Ratner, Danny Masterson, Jeffrey Tambor. We said earlier, Jeremy Piven. The only two that
Ron Jeremy.
Three that and James Dean, if you want to go into the porn realm.
Yeah,
but we know he's
porn for crying out loud.
Well, but James Dean, if you've seen anything he's done, he's abusive. Just like Max Hardcore back in the day, who went to jail.
Yeah, but that's the kind of adult stuff that he did. That's what his, at least from what I hear is, the women want it. That's what they signed up for.
I don't think entirely.
Or maybe he took it.
That's not what
I've
heard. He pushed it.
Level.
He pushed it. They signed up. We're doing this, and then he pushed it to be violent. Mm-hmm. Like Max Hardcore was horrible.
I
can't
watch that stuff.
Yeah.
It's
I've seen one, and it was just brutal, and I couldn't watch the whole thing.
I'm old school. I like tits and like a dick going into pussy, and then just thinking my dick's going in that pussy, like pretending my dick's that my dick is that dick, even though it's John Holmes' dick, which is fucking massive. Pretending that's my dick.
This might be considered locker room talk.
I know. This is locker room talk.
Wouldn't be good.
But
no, we don't endorse certain presidents that are currently in office right now.
Locker room talk.
Fucking idiot.
It's locker room talk.
But anyway, no, that's even in porn. Like you can't cross that line.
No. Stop.
Yes, fucking stop it, please. And the only people that have come out and denied any of it have been Tambor, Piven, and Masterson. The problem with Masterson to me is it's a lot involved with Scientology, which is the king of trying to shut shit down. So that's the problem I have with Masterson.
They're worse than...
And Netflix has not dropped The Ranch. It's a fucking horrible show to start with. It should have been gone a long time ago.
Yes. I have yet to watch that.
It's terrible. I watched half of an episode. I thought I was going to puke. It's right in the realm of Big Bang Theory. But they haven't dropped him yet. Louis C.K. they've already dropped. Spacey they've already dropped. So
does he just have a limited role in The Ranch? Is that kind of
No, he's one of the main characters. It's him and it's an Ashton Kutcher show, and it's him and Kutcher and their brothers, and Sam Elliott is their dad. I don't remember the rest of it because I couldn't get through a fucking whole episode. It was terrible. But the point is, the season 3 is still coming out, and it's full of Danny Masterson.
I really want to go watch another episode of The Flash right now.
Yeah,
we're talking.
That's worthwhile. So please go do that. Let's wrap this episode.
Now let's just hope
we're well over an hour
that any of the actors in The Flash did any of this shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody. I don't want to hear any Grant Gustin stories.
Don't do it.
For fuck's sake, please no.
Won't do it.
I don't want to hear Melissa Benoist unless she's coming after me. Then I'm all for it. Wife number 3. Anyway.
No.
Hashtag.
We're not doing that.
If it's Supergirl.
No.
If it's Supergirl, I'm going to have to get behind
that. If it's Supergirl,
I'm
doing it.
I couldn't see.
I don't care if it lasts a week. I'm doing it because it's Supergirl. So hashtag Supergirl wife number 3, and we'll see you next time.
Kevin.
Listen, we talked about our Tucson Comic-Con table. Go to bunny17media.com. Get anything there. If you buy 1 book, 20 books. CHC is your promo code. You get 15% off. So whatever you buy, 15% off with the code CHC. For listening to Cinema Head Cheese, thank you for listening to us. Babble for an hour plus.
I do want to babble really quickly.
Go ahead.
James DePaulo.
Yes, James DePaulo.
Let's throw
him a bone.
I am going to throw you a bone. I'm going to throw you a boner.
Oh my!
Actually, I'm not going to throw you a boner because I don't think of you like that.
We should mention that. Yeah.
You are a wonderful, wonderful fellow. You are the Archie Bunker of cult films, independent films. You are a good man.
He's been on this show.
He's retiring.
He was on one of the funniest episodes of this show.
Yes.
Where he and I were just busting your balls the entire hour and a half.
I think he was busting my balls. But he's retiring from writing.
Right.
Well, maybe not writing. I think he's going to write.
Well, James,
I honestly do. But
no.
his website, Wicked Channel, he's gonna stop doing his thing because he's a hardworking man. He's got a awesome wife to take care of, and awesome little cat that's adorable.
They're fun
take
people.
Care,
James and Melissa.
You're a good dude. You're an awesome dude. Congratulations on just everything your hard work, your work on Cinema Head Cheese, your work on Wicked Channel.
Thank you for
congratulations, brother.
Thank you for your contributions here as well. So, good luck to you in the future, and I think he's keeping Wicked Channel up. He's just not.
Well, his stuff is still going to be up.
Yeah,
but
he's just not doing it.
You know what? I just know that there's going to be like a special guest appearance out there.
Yeah,
he's going to pop up.
We'll have to drag him on.
He's going to talk about I don't know midget porn or something. You know?
Yes.
Like what's the best midget porn movie out there? Like midget porn bukkake. What are the top 10?
All I know is
porns
Bridget the
we've
Midget because she used to be on Stern all the time. Yeah.
So James,
and she's in Big Money Rustlers.
James, you're loved. You're a good man. It was awesome to have the masterpiece king, and one of my best pals in the world, Mr. Dalyn Vieger here. Dalyn, thank you for joining us, and I know you're going to join us again.
Oh, I can't wait.
And I need to fucking stop being lazy and come over to the masterpiece.
Yeah.
And maybe join you, but
Tuesday nights at the Grid.
I know.
Grid.
It's that 4 and 6 year old, man. They're dragging me down.
All right, this is the longest wrap up.
Okay, bye.
See you next week. Love you. Bye. Subscribe and download back episodes of Cinema Head Cheese the podcast, and read all of our movie reviews and news at cinemaheadcheese.com. Email us at cinemaheadcheese@yahoo.com. Search Cinema Head Cheese on Facebook and tweet us at CINHeadCheese. And for more podcasts, books, comics, blogs, and videos, head to abnormalentertainment.com.
You've been listening to the Abnormal Entertainment Network.